Next on Worcester News Tonight, garbage in Worcester's Kelley Square has people looking for a solution as the neighborhood gets ready to grow. Plus, a program in the city is helping middle to lower class families file their taxes for free. Good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Anna Botari. Trash and litter cleanup is one of the focal points of Worcester's Clean City program, but some neighborhoods may need more attention than others. One example is Kelley Square, which will soon be a bigger centerpiece of the city with the construction of a new ballpark. The amount of trash on the street now is alarming to some who live and work there.
Worcester is trying to take garbage off the streets with their Clean City program. A walk through Kelley Square Monday shows how much of a problem litter and trash is.
I don't understand why you don't care enough about your city to just take it with you, or I don't know, where do they throw it out the window? I don't understand how it gets built up this much.
The Canal District Alliance had trash bins installed throughout the area to encourage proper disposal. Board member Alan Fletcher says the bins are also playing a role in the increase of garbage found on the streets.
Even though we were having them emptied, they would just fill up as soon as you turned your back because, private people would dump their private trash there.
The city's pilot program will see the implementation of a clean team. They'll be in charge of maintaining trash bins as well as hosting cleanups in business districts like Kelley Square. For some in the area, the garbage is a significant city problem.
I think it does impact. It gives the city of Worcester a really bad name, especially for its trash. If you're walking up and down the street, you're driving by and you see all the trash, you think this is a bad part of the city, and it's really, really not.
You don't want people coming from out of town and this is what they see.
This year, Worcester will see numerous groundbreakings, including one for Polar Park. A redesigned Kelley Square also promises to be a new gateway into the city. Fletcher believes these projects could help resolve the issue.
Once this development at Kelley Square is done and when the ballpark comes in and, suddenly you're sort of the center of our little universe and people take pride in it. They will.
Tuesday night at Worcester City Council meeting, Councilor Rosen will be addressing better promoting safe needle disposal in Worcester. He's requesting City Manager Edward Augustus tell the council what steps can be taken to require all city pharmacies, hospitals, and health clinics to accept the return of used needles, sharps, and lancets. 211 is more than just today's date. Dialing 211 connects callers at no cost to critical health and human services in the community. Today, the United Way of Central Massachusetts is celebrating its importance to people who are vulnerable or in crisis. Mass 211 is funded in part by every United Way in the state. President and CEO Tim Garvin says in 2018, 211 received more than 76,000 calls, including 13,000 from Worcester County. The top 5 reasons for calling include childcare and parenting skills, housing and shelters, utilities, mental health and addiction, and for the first time, issues with legal and government affairs.
So 211 is both a live operator, but it's also a repository of all of the nonprofit social service, human development programs that exist all over Massachusetts.
Garvin says 211 has added call to talk if people are in crisis and contemplating suicide. The City of Worcester and the Shine Initiative are teaming up to address the stigma around mental health issues. A public campaign will help link people to the resources they may need. Our Olivia Lemon has the story.
All you have to do is talk, listen, and care.
This public service announcement aims to reduce the stigma around mental health issues. Monday, the Mayor's Task Force on Mental Health and the Shine Initiative unveiled the new campaign.
To tell people, seek the help, come see a professional, come and address your issues and not try to hide it. It's all right to have some issues. It's all right to get help, seek help and get cured.
The Shine Initiative works with children and young adults. Their goal is to raise awareness of mental illness as a mainstream health issue. The group's executive director says once people are able to talk about their feelings, it becomes easier to deal with their condition.
There's that initial discomfort, that initial stigma, and sort of that maintains the silence around it. But once you go through it, and anyone with lived experience kind of knows, once you finally do share, sometimes it's actually it lessens some of the pressure you're carrying around.
Dr. Maddie Castile says 7 out of the 10 leading causes of illness can be traced to mental health. The condition is also linked to other serious issues in the community, like the opioid epidemic and homelessness.
If you talk about what's happening in other countries, they put an emphasis on mental health because it is truly the most important piece. So how do we start doing that same piece in our community?
The campaign wants to start the conversation around mental health.
They're little steps, but they can make a big difference in people's lives.
Most stuff can be done by talking to each other.
And hopes to give people direction to the resources they need.
There's a website, for the campaign, talkmentalhealth.worc.org, just to be a landing page, because there's so many great supports in the city. But like a lot of things, everyone doesn't know where they are or what they are.
It's okay, you're not alone out there, and hopefully they can seek the help that they need.
Olivia Lemon, Worcester News Tonight.
An organization in Worcester is offering free tax services for low to moderate income working taxpayers in central Massachusetts. The Worcester Community Action Council is offering the Volunteer Income Tax Assistance Program, or VITA, to help people making $54,000 a year or less. Volunteers take an IRS training to prepare taxes. Director of the Job and Education Center, Carrick O'Brien, says there are other businesses offering tax preparation, but they're not always free.
Oftentimes you're not told what your return fee would be upfront. Sometimes it's a percentage of what you would be receiving back as a tax return. And we know that the clients that are taking advantage of this are those that need the money the most.
O'Brien says last year they were able to process more than 800 returns and returned more than $1.4 million. Bail is denied in the case of a man accused of attacking another man later found dead. Dean Valchez was arraigned from his hospital today, where his attorney pled not guilty on his behalf. But a witness says she saw Valchez hit the victim. Our Chandler Walsh has more from UMass Medical Center, where he was arraigned.
Dean Valchez is arraigned from his hospital bed in the ICU. The Berlin man is charged with assault and battery causing serious bodily injury in connection with the death of Roger Bemis.
He seems to be in good spirits considering his physical condition and the charges that are going to be brought against him.
Bemis was found dead in his Water Street apartment in Clinton Thursday. The Worcester District Attorney's Office says he appeared to have been dead for several days.
Very scary, because we think, living in a small town like this, we're immune or something like that.
The DA says Valchez fell out of a tree stand used for hunting when police responded to his home. He's being treated with serious injuries, and there's no word on why he fell.
Under the circumstances where he is held at the hospital, there's no privacy. I have no opportunity to speak with him in detail about the event or how he was taken into custody.
According to police reports, a witness was with Valchez and Bemis Super Bowl Sunday. She says she saw Valchez strike Bemis in the head and face at least 10 times, causing him to bleed from his head and nose. The news coming as a shock to people who live in town.
The neighbor said it was pretty loud there, so they assumed there was partying going on.
The witness says she and Valchez left Bemis's apartment shortly after. Valchez's attorney says he denies the charge.
A plea of not guilty has been entered on his behalf, and that's where the court process stands.
Authorities say Bemis's death is suspicious and the cause of death is still being determined.
Anytime a life is lost, it's always sad. Those people have families, and, everyone's family is involved from both sides, so it's, not an easy thing.
Valchez's bail was revoked on a previous open case out of Fitchburg, so he's being held without bail. This case will continue for a dangerousness hearing in March. In Worcester, Chandler Walsh, Worcester News Tonight.
The MBTA announcing a community meeting will be held in Worcester next month regarding its fare proposal. The announcement comes less than a week after 15 Central Mass lawmakers submitted a letter to the MBTA Fiscal and Management Control Board. Worcester is located within Zone 8 of the commuter rail fare table. A proposed increase, which would take effect starting July 1st, would raise the Zone 8 fare by 75 cents to $12.25 for a one-way ticket. The community meeting will take place at Worcester's Union Station Wednesday, March 6th from 6:30 to 8:30 p.m. The Roman Catholic Diocese of Worcester is facing a $1.4 million deficit for fiscal year 2018. The diocese says basic operational costs, including things like health care, deficits and retiree care, and aging infrastructure in schools and parishes, led to an operating deficit of $1.4 million. After including unrealized gains on investment, the annual report shows an $832,000 deficit. Spokesperson Ray Delisle says anytime there's a deficit this large, it's a cause for concern.
Be concerned about. And it's not that we can say that it's going to be significantly different this coming year. The costs remain. Those are realities that we have to deal with just like anyone.
The diocese is moving forward with their legacy of Hope Capital campaign, hoping to raise more money. Gas prices are down 5 cents this week, making it the lowest they've been in the last year and a half. According to AAA, self-serve regular unleaded gas is averaging $2.34 per gallon. A year ago, the average price was 22 cents higher. AAA's Mary McGuire says the Northeast has some of the strongest supplies of gasoline in the country, which has helped keep the prices from rising.